It's safe to say that I've been very critical of how Tony Khan and AEW book their TV shows, and especially how they seem to spoil their talents in terms of not keeping them on TV, not giving them the proper stories, and definitely guys like Hangman Adam Page and guys like Swerve Strickland are a part of that narrative. Because these two guys, what we saw last week on Dynamite proves that they're meant to be at the top of the card or near the top of the card or at the very least featured on a weekly basis, and they just haven't. At least not to their maximum potential, at least not to try to get to that maximum potential. Hangman Adam Page is a former AEW World Champion. He's a former main event star for AEW. He's been, for lack of a better term, a pillar, although they don't call him that, but he's been at the forefront of AEW ever since the company started, and he's kind of drifted into the backseat, into the shadows over the past year and a half, other than the fact that he made his return and joined the Elite, and that was a big moment in itself. After that, nothing's really happened with Hangman Adam Page. And Swerve proved in NXT. And he's been proving in AEW with the small amount of TV time he gets every single week, or every time he's actually on TV, that he's got charisma, he's got presence, he's got the character work, he's able to carry himself and his stable, anybody who he's leading, in a way that gets people and gets wrestling fans invested in that character. So last week on Dynamite, when Swerve interrupted Hangman Adam Page's promo live on the show, that intrigued me. That intrigued me so much. And now it's already official, because at Wrestle Dream, I think it's called, that's the next AEW event. I might be mistaken on that. It's going to be Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page 1-on-1 in a singles match. And frankly, whoever walks out of that match the winner is going to be the winner, of course. But whoever loses is not going to get hurt at all, because these two men at this point need each other. Hangman Adam Page needs a proper singles feud to remain relevant. Now that the Young Bucks have moved on to the tag team division, now that Kenny Omega is dealing with Konosuke Takeshita and Don Callis, and Swerve, well, along with Prince Nana and his moguls and the embassy, he needs to get back on track. And one thing fans don't get with when it comes to stables on TV is you gotta really go all in on the stables, otherwise it's just a group that's just there. You don't really care about it. Now Swerve Strickland, he's a fantastic heel. The promo last week where he pretty much said that if he had all the opportunities that Hangman Adam Page has had up until this point, that he'd already be the first black AEW World Champion in history. That's a good narrative to tell. That's a good story to tell, especially coming from the heel, to play those types of cards when it comes to storytelling. And Page, well, Page is definitely a contender for the world title. So this feud, this rivalry, in my opinion, is just going to it's just going to elevate both men into where they need to be, which is close or near the main event. Hangman Adam Page towards the world title, and Swerve Strickland at some point down the line, a year and a half, 2 years down the road, that world title. But for now, in the International Championship seems at grasped, and AEW doesn't really care about doing heel versus heel. And can you imagine Swerve's group versus the BCC and the International Championship in the middle of it, fighting for that mid-card title? I mean, like I said, this feud, this rivalry, it's far from over. It's just begun. It's just getting started. I firmly believe that this is going to go all the way into full gear in November, which is taking place, I believe, in the Forum right here in Inglewood, California. So gotta be excited for that. But I really don't see any downside to Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland going one-on-one. Whoever comes out with the win, whoever comes out with the loss. If Hangman beats Swerve at the end of it all, at the end of the feud, Well, he's a former world champion. He gets back on track. He gets back in the title chase. If Swerve beats Hangman Adam Page, that adds to his accomplishments. That's another notch to his belt. That gets him closer to the international title, possibly closer to the main event and the world title. And hell, Swerve Strickland is a heel. MJF is now parading as a pseudo babyface. Put 2 and 2 together. Let's go. It might work down the line. But again, these are just my thoughts on the promo last week, on what's going down with these two men. Again, no downside at all. You give these two guys TV time. They desperately need TV time. They desperately deserve TV time in terms of characters and stories. So, again, if you have different thoughts, different predictions on where this feud, where this rivalry might go, who do you want to win this feud? Who do you think this rivalry, this feud benefits the most in the long run? Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comments section below. In the meantime, tune in later on tonight to Access TV for the first part of Impact 1000 episodes of Impact Wrestling, TNA, baby. Yeah, old school TNA. I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.